These are my week 6 Saturday superlatives, playing a little catch up. And I'm going to start with quarterbacks, and I'm going to start in Division 3 with a mind blowing performance from Blaine Hawkins of Central College. 32 of 43 for 503 yards, 6 touchdowns. He also had 5 carries and another touchdown. Total of 1 negative yard because, of course, they take out sack yardage. But needless to say, he owns the record book at that school. And, he's undersized and he's a Division 3 quarterback, and he probably won't even get in an NFL camp. But he's fun to watch, and he throws the ball better than you'd expect. He can move around. He throws it on from the pocket. He throws it on the run. Um, if he got a chance in the CFL or maybe Arena, I could see him eventually fighting his way into the league. But he's probably going to, as I say, go pro in something other than sports. But he was impressive. Moving on, Tyler Jernigan of Benedictine, another D3 quarterback, 29 of 46, 378 in terms of yardage, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also, at 37 yards, long of 37, and as a rusher, had a long of 13 and a touchdown. And obviously, Bailey Zappe could be on this list every single week. He's just out there doing Bailey Zappe things. 38 of 60, 523 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception. I hope that guy really gets a good, long, hard look. He's the real thing. Max Borchenschlager of FIU, 19 of 30 for 466 yards. That's another guy I think could, at minimum, be an NFL backup. Going on to the FCS level, Elon's Davis Cheek, very good day at the office, right? 29 of 37 for 332 yards. Also had 8 carries for 8 yards, 8 net yards, long of 7. Cole Kelley, a friend of mine's favorite FCS quarterback. He's a big kid with a big arm. 29 of 38, 406 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception with a long of 76 yards. And, I've sort of made, jokes about him, calling him like Josh Roethlisberger. He has a little bit of both, a little bit of Allen, a little bit of Roethlisberger. He's not quite as athletic as Josh Allen because very few quarterbacks that size are. And he's not quite as polished or as strong-armed as Roethlisberger, but he's got a strong arm. It's a top-tier arm. And Catholic U, Madden Love, first of all, great name, Madden Love, but he had a great day at the office. 38 of 49, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also chimed in with another 12 rushes for 25 yards. That's net yards, and a long of 11. Sticking with the FCS, we're going back to the FCS. Tim Demarest of Fordham, 19 of 23. That's a very efficient day. 339 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 rushes for minus 8 yards after sacks were extracted. Davis Alexander. There's a lot of those Portland State quarterbacks I've ended up liking over the years, going back to the 70s, really. I mean, shout out to June Jones, shout out to Neil Lomax, but this young man, once again, a smaller-bodied guy, probably 5'11 and 3/4, probably 194 pounds, but a quick, compact delivery, accurate. 32 of 48, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, long of 71. Also had 2 carries for 23 yards and an extra touchdown, he had another touchdown. One of the most improved, maybe the most improved quarterback I've seen between this year and last is Frank Thomas of University of Texas San Antonio. And shout out to them, and great job of re-signing your incredibly talented coach, Jeff Traylor. But he was 349 yards passing. He had 6 touchdowns. Also, a long of 44 yards, 9 carries, 51 yards, and a catch of 23 yards and a touchdown. You don't often say stat stuffer when you're talking about a quarterback, but it applies in his case. Moving on. C.J. Stroud, right? Just a kid, and there was, people being a little bit critical of him earlier on. Well, I think they're going to eat those, or are eating those words currently. 24 of 36, 406 yards, 5 touchdowns. Also, long of 42, had 2 carries, and another 6 yards. Well, once again, after you extract the sack yardage. Dustin Crumb, one of my favorites, right? Kent State, 22 of 36, 407 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think, once again, bare minimum, we're looking at an NFL backup. Slovis of USC, a guy who's had an up and down season, but he had a really good week 6, 33 of 53, 401 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And Jaden Deloria, staying in the Pac-12, Washington State, 32 of 46, 399 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Casey Thompson, who I think is going to have a very long and successful career at Texas, 20 of 34, 5 touchdowns, also 388 yards, and just looked so much in command of everything. I think, once again, like I said, he's going to have a really great career going forward. A couple more quarterbacks. One of my favorites again, Akil Glass of Alabama A&M University, was 26 of 40 for 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, added 10 rushes, 47 yards with a long of 19. And Carson Strong, yet another one of my favorite quarterbacks, had a great week 6, 25 of 32 for 6 touchdowns, 377 yards. What wasn't there to be impressed by, right? I think he has a chance to be a really solid NFL starter. Those are my week 6 quarterback Saturday superlatives.